right. What is going on at YouTube? I got a big smile on my face today because just kind of going over, comments and DMs and some of my buddies talking to me in person. It seems like a lot of you guys are getting a lot of value out of what I'm saying. And in the past 4 previous podcasts, I've had a lot of positive reviews, and even some people come forward and say like, "Hey, like, thank you. Like, I needed this. I needed your help. I needed your insight." And I just want to say, guys, I mean, it absolutely means the world to me. Having you guys DM me and text me, and just my friends reaching out to me, and people that I don't even know, honestly, reached out to me and saying, "Hey, like, keep doing what you are doing. Keep up the good work." It makes me very happy. So, guys, please continue, to like and subscribe. Support the channel here. And again, the only goal, guys, that I want is to just make a good community of young men and young women, but also we're very much targeted towards young men that are just trying to be the best version of themselves. That's really it, and the best version of yourself for everybody obviously can, I'm sure, look different. But at the same time, too, as long as you guys are pushing every day and trying to be your best version of yourself and just going and going and going and going, that's all I can ask for. And if you guys end up learning something from me, they're all along the way. I'm forever grateful, and I'm so happy. But again, guys, I just want to thank you so much for the support, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so thankful, and I promise I'm going to continue to serve you guys as best as I can. And please, if you guys have any questions that you need in terms of any type of topics you would like me to cover, please go for it. But I got a big smile on my face. I couldn't hold on not recording. It's only Monday, and I'm like, I need to record again because I'm just so freaking enthusiastic about what we're doing as a community here. And this next episode, I think I told you the High Value Man episode, which was last week, is really important to me, probably one of the most important things. This is probably number 2. I really think this next episode, or this episode alone, might give you guys a lot of value, because I'm only 23, but I wish I knew these things so much earlier in my life. And I think if I had kind of known what was kind of going to happen and kind of how life is, I think I would have been much more better in terms of reacting and maturing and growing. So without further ado, guys, sit back, relax, and sit back and relax, and I hope you guys enjoy the show today. So, as you can tell from the title of the video, this is a really important topic. 10 lessons for young men. So sorry, ladies, this episode is just catered towards young men. Reason why, because obviously I'm a young man growing up in his early 20s. There's a lot of things I have done and learned the easy way and the hard way, but I've learned a lot of different things in my early 20s and even late teenage years. And as a man, I want to make sure I can provide insight for the guys out there. So young men out there between the ages of 15 and 25, please listen up and try your best to follow my advice here. And for anyone that's over the ages of 23, 24, and 25 that maybe has, more things figured out, I would love you to continue to listen to me and just kind of see your opinion. And please, if you agree with me, disagree with me, that's fine. But please just comment down below and help out somebody else that maybe you have a different opinion than I do, and you can help somebody else out by commenting down below. So again, this is for guys between the ages of 15 and 25. But if you're over that, I would still love you to hang around and watch the video and just give you your insight afterwards. But the first lesson today, and this is in no really particular order, by the way, guys, these 10 lessons. There is one I'm going to save the best for last. But the first lesson I have for you guys is loss is inevitable. We kind of talked a few episodes ago, I think it was episode 3, about how you need to be able to overcome loss. You need to be able to overcome tragedy. You need to be able to overcome these obstacles and these things. The reason why I say loss is inevitable is for this reason only. It is very rare that you find a man that has not lost something, whether it's a mother, whether it's a father, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's a good friend of his. Guys, we typically end up losing things. And I know the same thing goes for girls, but for guys, it can be a little bit different because guys are emotional. And young men, it's okay, you don't want to admit that, and I totally get that. But guys can be a lot more emotional than people really think. And my first thing that you guys have to understand is loss is inevitable. So if you're watching this video today and you're getting over a breakup, or you're getting, over maybe a family situation, or you're getting over maybe you lost that job, you lost a dog, you lost a family member, again, you lost a significant other, just understand that is all a part of life, and that is what happens. And I said this last video, I'm going to say it again until it drills into your guys' brain, is that loss is inevitable, and in order to grow, to grow, you need to suffer. So it's okay if you're watching this video and you're like, hey man, I was dating this girl for 3 years, 4 years, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, and it just didn't end up working out. And that's okay. It's okay. Loss is inevitable. And some things just aren't meant to work out. Same thing can go for parents. You know, I have plenty of friends of mine, and my parents in particular. I was very young when my parents got divorced, and it was a very hard thing on me. And it obviously broke my heart, and it was very hard to see them kind of go different ways. But at the same time, too, with, you know, the loss of, again, a breakup or having your parents get divorced, you don't take things for granted, and you understand that not everything's meant to work out. And again, that is okay. But the thing is, when you lose, how do you overcome it? How do you get better from it? And how do you, as a man, continue to grow? And that's the biggest thing, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose family members. You're going to lose significant others. You're going to lose people. But if you're able to learn in a very positive way, that's all that really matters. You know, if you're able to say, okay, you know, this situation happened. It sucks, but I'm going to learn from it and become better. Amen. That's great. So understand, guys, the first lesson here is loss is inevitable, and it's okay. Everyone loses, and the more you lose, the better, because guess what? You become a much more well-rounded individual, which we'll tie on to later in the video today. Second thing, guys, is very similar to the first one. I want you guys to fail forward. Now, what does fail forward looking like? Don't be afraid to mess up. You know, if there's a job you want to get there that you're not too sure if you're qualified for, but you want to go for it, go for it. If there's a girl you want to ask and you're nervous to ask her, dude, go for it. Life's short. Who cares? My point being, guys, is when you're out in life and when you're doing things, you always want to make sure whenever you're trying something, and again, losses are going to come and failures are going to obviously happen too. But every time I fail, you know, it's funny. One of my buddies a while ago, this is a really long time ago, was talking to me about this or whatever, and we were not a good football team in high school. And he goes, you know, does it ever bother you that you guys, you know, just don't do that well at football? You put all this work in and it doesn't really work out. And I'm like, no. And the reason why is because every time I lost a football game, I was actually losing forward. I was saying, okay, no, I didn't do good this play, I didn't do good this thing or whatever. And I became better from it. So what I'm saying is every time I failed, whether it was a relationship, whether it was a friend, whether it was a family member, whether it was a job, or whether it was a business idea, because I fail. I mean, I have so many business ideas sometimes that I go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then maybe one thing sticks, you know? But again, that is okay, because I'm failing forward. And I'm like, okay, I tried this avenue. That avenue didn't work. I'm going to go over here. Okay, that avenue still didn't work. Maybe we go down this way. Okay, that avenue's not working. But then I go this way, and it's like, oh, this avenue is working. So what I'm saying, guys, is when you fail, you don't understand this, but when you fail, it's actually a really good thing, because there's so much more opportunity that you see later on in life. And I think the best example I can give you is that, let's say you're a young guy and you recently are going through, let's say, a tragedy of some kind. Let's say you have lost someone important to you. And I mean either, it can be, again, maybe someone has walked out of your life, maybe someone has done something to wrong you, whatever. At such a young age, we kind of think it's the end of the world, when in reality, there's so much more opportunity to be able to grow and learn from it and have something even better come in. So every time I fail and someone's like, hey, like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to hang out with you anymore. I don't want to work with you anymore as a trainer. I'm like, cool. See you later, man. I'll find someone or something else out there that's better. And every time I failed, it's typically been something or someone or whatever that has always been better, you know, and I think that's the beautiful thing about failure. But remember, guys, just fail forward, understand that losses and failing are going to happen, and they should happen. You know, if you weren't failing or losing, I'd be a little concerned, because you probably aren't taking enough chances. But go out there, guys, fail, learn from the mistakes, and just become better from both those things. So that's all I have to say about failure. I love this one. Third thing, my friends are going to laugh if they're watching this. Third thing that is really, really important, a really good lesson for young men, is build confidence. Build confidence in yourself. I'm someone who, I'm sure you're watching this can tell, I've always had a high self-esteem and a very high confidence about myself. And that's a really, really good thing, because people tend to gravitate towards that. And the way you kind of build confidence, guys, is by putting your purpose over your pleasure. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, I simply mean that if you are a working man, if you're working hard, put your purpose over your pleasure. You know, it's like, hey, I have to wake up 5 a.m. today. I'm working from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. I got 12 hours of solid work to do. I can't mess around. Go out and do that. Work those 12 hours, work those 10 hours, work those 8 hours, work on your purpose, which can be work or your business or your fitness or whatever, And what happens is you will see a much more confident man on the other side. And the reason why is because the way to build confidence is by keeping promises to yourself and to the people around you. So for example, if I am a business owner, how I am, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to challenge my clientele with a 30-day fasting trial or 30-day fasting routine, which my business does. And we're doing this 30-day fast and the clientele absolutely loves it. I'm like, boom, confidence builder. Yes, let's go. We tried something that we weren't really sure about and it hit really hard and it was awesome and it was great. Same thing for fitness. Hey, Rob, I want to lose 20 pounds. Hey, awesome. Let's rock and roll. Let's go into this thing. Let's work out. Let's lose 20 pounds. And when you do that and you put the work in, you tend to typically build a lot of confidence in yourself because that's pushing you to honestly be the best version of you over time. And put yourself in crazy situations. Say yes to things. Put yourself out there, man. Don't be afraid again to put yourself in situations that you're really uncomfortable with, because when you keep those promises to yourself, it's awesome. It's so funny to say this, but like if you are nervous about talking to someone or taking a risk at a job, you go out and do it, because it doesn't matter if you get let's say you get the person or you get the job or you get whatever. You just going out there and doing it is enough to build confidence in yourself and saying, hey, I put myself in a really stressful and scary situation and I'm totally okay and I'm totally fine, and that's awesome, But I can't stress enough that you got to keep the promises to yourself, especially as a man. You have to keep promises to yourself. A good promise I kept to myself too is that in 2019, when I left college and pursued this business, I'm like, hey, this is going to sound really extreme. I was like, there's going to be two outcomes to this business. I'm going to be successful or I'm going to die. That was it. Two outcomes. That was it. Two outcomes. I'm going to be successful or I'm going to die. And 5 years in, I've been, knock on wood, nothing but successful so far. So that's my best advice to you guys, is build that confidence and keep promises to others. If you're hanging out with your boys and you're like, hey guys, I'm going to come over and hang out with you guys, hang out with them, chill out with them, do things with them, because if you keep your words to others, they'll respect you even more, and you're going to respect yourself even more for sticking up to your word, but that's, again, number 3 is confidence, and it's really important to maintain that. Oh man, the fourth one, you young bucks out there. I say young bucks because I'm 23. So the fourth one is finances. The fourth lesson is finances. And a lot of guys, and this is just not this people that are early age, like early into their 20s. This is a lot of people in general. It's kind of scary how many people don't understand money. They don't understand how the stock market works. They don't understand high yield savings accounts. They don't understand what a CD is. They don't understand what treasuries and bonds are. They don't understand what the S&P 500 is. They don't understand blah, 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 blah. And some of you guys are probably just like, what the heck did Rob just say? Well, I'm going to have a whole nother video for finances another day. But as a young man, you have to have your finances in order. Again, it's going to be another confidence builder for you, but the reason why that's so important is this. If you have your finances in order, I guarantee your life is typically in order. Let me give you an example of that. If you think about Rob Rinelli, he's a guy that is 23 years old and he can't save money to save his life. He cannot save money. Do you think other things in my life are going to be very much organized? I doubt it. Let's say you have some guy like Alan over here who's making over, I don't know, a couple $100,000 and he's a millionaire. I would assume you'd think that Alan probably has a lot of everything in his life together, like his fitness, like his family, all these things. Now, just because you have money does not mean you have everything organized, but typically you can take control and make sure you have everything kind of in order. So the fourth lesson, guys, is finances. Understand, first of all, how to make yourself a high income earner, and that I'm living proof. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have really any crazy knowledge. You just have to be able to learn and adapt and put yourself in situations that you're willing to fail and try to get better at. The other thing too with finances is you guys need to understand how to balance a checkbook. You're probably like, what is a checkbook? When I say a checkbook, it's simply when you are, let's say the modern checkbook is like when you go on your Wells Fargo app, or you go on your Chase app, or you go on your Citizens Bank app, and you see transactions. That's kind of like your checkbook. And you say, okay, I spent $100 here and $200 there and $100 there, and I have income coming in. The biggest money rule is this: you need to follow a budget, and you need to live on less than you make. Because the first 10 rules of money are live on less than you make, live on less than you make, live on less than you make, live on less than you make. Because if you live on less than you make, you can save that money and build up a nice little nest egg for yourself, and you can invest that money and double your income over time. What if I sat here today and said everyone watching this YouTube channel has the ability to become a millionaire? because everyone watching does. And you don't even need to have a high earning job to be a millionaire. And everyone's probably just like, oh, this kid's 23, he has no idea what he's talking about. And I'm like, no, I train about 5 or 6 multi-millionaires, and I've worked with them hands-on, and I am like, yeah, you guys are right. They have total belief in me that I can become maybe the 7th millionaire that they know, or the 8th millionaire that they know. And that's that for someone who's twice my age or 3 times my age to say, hey, you can do the same thing we're doing. That's all I need to hear. So my point being, guys, if you understand the rules of money and how to control money and how to balance a checkbook and how to invest and how to double your money and how to make your money work harder for you, man, you're going to be successful big time. And that's the same thing as a family man. If you're married with hopefully with a wife and kids someday, I'm hoping you guys are able to handle your money well, because there's going to be things that are going to come up. There's going to be your family's going to be looking at you to provide, and you better be able to freaking provide, man. I'll tell you right now, if I would not date, I would not do anything if I could not provide. You have to provide. There's no ands, there's no ifs, there's no buts. It's you are a provider, you are also a protector. And that's, again, going to be a lesson a little bit on here. But you guys have to provide for yourself first. Learn about money, understand money, and then once you understand money, continue to learn about money. There's things I learn about all the time. And a great book that I can leave in the link down below is called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, phenomenal author. Just try to study money and understand how it grows and what it does. And we're gonna have a whole nother video on money. But again, make sure you understand finances, investing, spending less than you make, and making sure you guys have a nice nest egg in retirement. Again, that's going to be a whole nother video for another day. But 4th is finances. The 5th one's going to be a little rough waters here because it's 2024, and I feel like this can be a sensitive topic, but I am going to bring it up. Be faithful, and I'm not saying, you have to be religious. I'm not saying you have to go to church or synagogue or whatever nowadays. Just find something that you really believe in and go all in with it. I really, I don't want to touch too much on this subject, but believe in something. So for me, I'm Catholic. So I was personally talking about, I'm Catholic. So I was a CCD. I went to church all the time when I was younger. And then when my teens and early 20s, I kind of fell out of being Catholic. I kind of didn't really go to church until last year in the spring. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to church. Me and my mom every Saturday at 5 o'clock, we go to church together. And it's a great thing because I get to spend an hour with my mom, who I love and care about so much. And I also get to go to church and, be able to really reset myself for the week and reset my beliefs and pray for everyone that I care and love about, and be able to really just be in the moment and be so appreciative. But I won't carry it on, but just make sure you guys have some belief system, something that you believe in that will continue to help you grow and be the young men that you always are supposed to be. Faith is the 5th lesson there, guys. The 6th one, this is another big one, guys. This is going to be fitness. Being fit is important for a number of reasons. Now, can you be successful and not be in shape? Of course. There's plenty of people who are successful and not in shape. I'm not saying that. But if you young men work out and take care of yourself, I'm guaranteeing your confidence is going to build. You're going to feel a lot better about yourself. And everything I just covered before is also going to take care of itself, because when you're fit, it's kind of starts this thing with delayed gratification, where I'm going to work out today, might not see the results until a month from now. Or I'm going to work out really hard for 6 months, and I might not see the results for 6 or 7 months after I'm continuing to work out. So my point I'm trying to say, guys, is work out continually to build a delayed gratification for yourself. Because when you work out and do something difficult, it builds insane mental toughness. It fires your endorphins. It does all these positive things for you. And you look at yourself in a higher sense. And that is so, so important, especially when it comes to business, when it comes to relationships, when it comes with friends or family. It is so important to make sure that you are happy with yourself. Because if that's the case, people are going to look up to you and say, hey, Rob takes care of himself. He's always fit. He's always working on himself. He's always trying to get better. I want to gravitate myself towards Rob and be kind of like Rob is. You know what I mean? I mean, a good example of that is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's an extreme example, but someone who's just always been in shape, someone who's always been fit, and someone who he really has a good way of saying that when you are in shape and when you put things like that gym first, it not only grounds you, but it almost helps reset you, kind of like I talked about with faith. But you guys have to be in shape, because when you're fit, I kind of said this a minute ago, but when you're fit, you're confident with yourself, you have high self-esteem, you attract other people. And I said this kind of a little bit, I think, in the finances category, I believe, but you also are kind of looked as more as a protector too. Now, when I say protector, I kind of mean if you could, being big and muscular and having tattoos doesn't mean you're a big macho guy, doesn't mean you're even tough, doesn't even mean you know how to fight. But when you are fit, someone, specifically a girl, will look at that and say, hey, this guy takes care of himself. This guy is a good looking dude because he's fit. I want to be around this guy because he's not sloppy. He's not taking care of himself. He probably has pretty good hygiene. I hope so. If you are fit, you should have good hygiene. And you're going to be looked at again as a protector. Like Rob takes care of himself. Rob works out. Rob puts himself through hard things. So if I was going out on a date with some lovely girl and we were out or whatever, and there was some type of, let's say, I don't want to say like a danger, but like if someone felt uneasy or if something kind of were to happen, it's like, hey, like you, Rob, like you are the protector. And I have no problem getting in harm's way because, first of all, as a man, you should be the protector. But also, secondly, too, when you are someone who's in shape, I guarantee every guy that's watching this video understands this. When you are someone in shape, it builds insane self-confidence in yourself that you can stand in harm's way and be A-okay. There's luckily been never any time really where I've really had to step into any type of a fight. Well, one time, but I won't get into that. It was one time a few years ago. But point being is that when you are fit, you usually have higher self-confidence in yourself. People kind of see yourself a little bit higher, and you looked as to more of a protector, which you should be as a man. You looked at it as a protector, and people usually feel pretty safe around you. So fitness is a big, big, big thing. Number 7. Oh, this is huge too. Love what you do. And the reason why I said that is because, guys, life is so short. Life is so short. You have to love your career. You have to love your job, because if you're watching this video and you're like, Rob, I'm miserable in this career, I'm miserable in this life, I hate doing this or whatever, do you think you're going to be happy around your peers? Absolutely not. You have to love what you do. Because again, when you put your purpose and your passion and your career on top or over everything else at a young age, and you love what you do, people will be inspired by that and they're going to want to be like that most of the time. Some people are okay with being average. And if you're okay with being average, hey, that's totally fine. But if you're someone like me that sees himself as a higher purpose, someone that's meant to serve other people, you're going to want to love what you do, because people nowadays are very much rewarded the bare minimum, especially with mediocrity. And if you love what you do, you usually go above and beyond, and that builds insane self-confidence. It builds insane character. And typically when you love what you do, you typically are going to be a very hard worker, and it translates to everything else. There's a great quote: how you do anything is how you do everything. So if I'm going hard, because people who know me are going to understand this. If I'm always going hard in work, if I'm always going hard in the gym, if I'm always going hard just in life in general, I'm probably going to do the same thing with a relationship. I'm probably going to do the same thing with friends. I'm going to do the same thing with family. Every time a friend has had a problem or a personal issue, a lot of the time they've come to me. And I guarantee you it's because a lot of what I do is very, very hard in terms of work. And I also love what I do. And I attack everything at 100%. So whether it's my friend who needs help with some advice, or a girl that I'm dating that needs help with a problem or whatever, hey, I'm all ears. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm going to attack the situation like I attack everything, and just be there for that person, whoever needs me, be there for that family member. And that is so important. But make sure you love what you do, because you don't want to spend 40, 50 years in a job that you just do not like, because life is just too short for that. And you don't need the stress or the anxiety, because then you're going to be a lesser man and a lesser version of yourself. So love what you do. Number 8, continue to learn. This is so important, because it's funny. I was talking to someone the other day, one of my clients, and we both agreed on this, is a lot of people in general, once they're kind of set in their career, kind of get stagnant. You always want to continue to learn, whether that's about money, whether that's about relationships, whether that's about fitness. You always want to learn, because typically when you learn, you're going to get better and become more of an expert on that field. And you can do things now with a much more you can do things now much more efficiently, but also at the same time too, you can also help other people. So a great example is on Friday night, me and a good friend of mine went out to this nice little Italian restaurant, and me and him were talking, and we were just hanging out or whatever. And he goes, I'm thinking about investing. And I'm like, oh, you're thinking about investing? That's awesome. And he kind of looks at me and he goes, well, can we talk about like what there is? And he was a smart guy. Like, he understood investing, but he's like, can you talk to me about the different types of accounts and the different types of things you can invest into and what you can buy? And I'm like, hey, let's rock and roll. What do you need help with? And my point being is, because I've educated myself so much on finance and money, is that I now can go out in the world, how I'm doing today, and I say help young men who don't really know how to invest and don't really know what a 401k is and don't really understand what a Roth IRA is or what an IRA is or what a brokerage account is or what even a money market account is. Again, it's very advanced terminology that some of you guys might know, some of you guys might not know. Again, a whole nother video for a whole nother day, but you have to always continue to learn. I did that with fitness in my career. I did that with finances, and I even do that with relationships. I mean, you have to learn about yourself more and about other people more, because everyone comes from a different walk of life and a different background. And it's so important to understand kind of not only your own viewpoint, but understand that you really can't really take anything personal. And when you start learning more about relationships, you will understand that. But continue to learn, guys. Continue to push yourselves to be the best version of yourself. And the way you're going to be the best version of yourself is, again, through fitness, finances, but also learning is another huge one too. Number 9. This is going to be a very ironic one for me. Slow down. Slow down. And a lot of people that know me probably like, Rob, you go a mile a minute, you never ever stop. I know I do. But there's times like on Friday nights when I try to go out with my friends, or Saturdays where I try to act my own age. You know, I was forced at a very young age to mature quickly and be the man of the house. That's just how it was, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But it's also important to act like a 23-year-old, you know, because life is short. So if you're 23, 24, 25, 20, 19, you have a big calling, hey, that's important. You chase your calling. You do what you need to do to be the best version of yourself. But check in on your friends and live a little, man. If you're 23, 22, 21, you can drink, go out to the bar, man, have fun, dance, you know, I don't want to say act like an idiot, but, you know, have fun with, you know, your boys and be appropriate. But at the same time too, you know, act your age, because life is just too short to continue to, life is just too short to also to always put on, I don't want to say a front, but to put on, you know, I will say like a front for others, you know what I mean? Like, be yourself, and this is really who I am as a person, you know, but there's also times too where I also need time to relax to myself, and I have to do that by slowing myself down, saying that the work, you know, the work that I do, all the stuff that I do, it's not going to be going anywhere. I want to hang out with my friends. I can always do work later. You know, it's important to really, for me to slow myself down and be in the moment, because all of us know this. We're only going to be 23 in our early 20s once, and these years are so important because it really makes you the man that you are. So that's why I'm saying slow down. And, you know, work hard, but also slow down and enjoy time with your friends, enjoy time with your family. If you have a girlfriend, or, I don't know, you're engaged or married, enjoy time with your significant other, man, because it's just so important. It's so important. And, you know, don't ever take that for granted, man, because it's the best thing ever. So number 9 is slow down. All right. So hopefully you guys have made it to lesson number 10, because this lesson, I got a smile on my face because I was just talking about this last night with a good buddy of mine during the Super Bowl. And this is the most true thing I'm going to probably talk about on the internet today. And it's going to be a very ironic one for some of the guys that are maybe my friends, or some of the guys that know me personally. But this is so important, and the older I get, it really rings so true to me because of the people I work with. But the most important, this is the number one thing, by the way, guys, that's going to make you successful. The number one thing that's going to make you successful as a man. And it's not the income you earn. It's not your drive as an individual. It's not your character. It's not your balance of time or your education level. The number one thing that's going to determine your guys' success as young men is the woman you choose to marry. And I kind of look at it like this. You know, I have my parents had, unfortunately, a very destructive divorce, and it was a lot on me. And divorces are about 50% of marriages. I think 52% of marriages in America, which is insanely high. That's half marriages end in divorce, which is horrible. But the reason why I say the woman who you choose to marry is so important is because that woman who you end up marrying should be the wind in your sails. She should be able to be there for you, someone that you're able to confide in and talk to and kind of communicate with your problems with, and be able to just be genuine around her. You know, you need to find someone I shouldn't say find someone, because you don't really find love. Love finds you. But you need to be able to partner up with somebody and be with somebody that has similar characteristics to you, but is slightly different. It's important to be different, but also at the same time too is the wind in your sails and supports you. Because I kind of look at it like this. if I'm here starting a business and I'm dating a girl who has a lot of vices, a lot of issues, and it's okay that people are human, but I'm dating somebody who really has to really still work on themselves. How the heck am I going to improve as a man? How am I going to start that business, launch that career, do these things if the girl I'm currently dating or married to or engaged to, every time I go out and do something, is throwing a complete tantrum and is acting all crazy and she's insecure and blah 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 blah. Now, ladies, I'm not trying to bash anybody there. I've been with the girls I've dated have been phenomenal. They've been awesome. I would never talk bad about them. I've had amazing young women in my life that have definitely influenced me and helped me become the man that I am. And I thank all of them for spending time with me, because I've learned so much. But I say this to the young guys out there who maybe are caught up on a breakup or maybe caught up on something that's not good for them. You have to understand that when you decide to marry a certain individual, it is a lifelong commitment, or it's supposed to be. And the girl that you marry is going to dictate how you handle finances, how you handle raising kids, how you handle work and life balance, how you handle just life in general. And it's so, so important, because if I'm married to someone who doesn't understand my grind and my work ethic, it's not going to work out. Chances are the girl that I would be with, if she doesn't understand my work ethic, is probably not going to be happy with me. And that's okay. That's totally fine. And chances are, if you do find someone who is, hey, a wind in your sail, she is a great support system, she is always there for you. And again, guys, hopefully you should be doing all these things for her, by the way. But when you have that kind of a partnership and that kind of a love, man, you can double, 10x, 20x, 30x your income and your money and your life, because you and your partner are just kind of going this way together. But again, the biggest thing I stress is the woman who you choose to marry is so, 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 so important. And the one thing I'm going to leave you with, guys, is that you cannot save anybody. I'm talking about myself here too, by the way, because there's plenty of people that I have loved and girls that I've been with that I absolutely adore and care about, but you kind of detach from the situation and you're like, dang, there's nothing I can do. It's like, I hate to say it, but this person isn't good for me. And for you young guys out there, you got to learn how to detach and say, and there's so many friends that are like, oh, I really like her, she's really good for you. Like, no, man. Some girls out there, again, we're young, there's a lot of chemicals flowing around. You guys want to have fun and have a great time, and maybe you do. But if she's not the right one for you and doesn't treat you well, don't even take the relationship any further. And if she has vices and things she cannot control, wish them the best and tell them goodbye, because it's just not worth it, guys. It's just not worth it. You cannot save anybody. If somebody wants to change, become the best version of themselves, I know everyone can, but they have to be willing to do the work. And that's why I say earlier, when you act your age, 23, 24, 25, stay single, build yourself up, and then God will send you the right person that you're meant to be with. And I really believe in that. The best example I can give you is when and I'm sure some people are like, I'm sure some people can agree with this. When you are not looking for a relationship, it typically just happens naturally. As the universe will send you somebody that is awesome, that is great, that is very similar, that supports you, and boom, 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 and it's usually a match made in heaven. There's times that I've been in life, and some relationships I have been in, I will say I have forced them. Other relationships, I'm just like kind of let it happen, and all other relationships I kind of just let come to me and flow to me. Even though they unfortunately didn't work out, they were the best. Like with that current person, they were the best type of relationship I could ask for. So don't force anything, guys. But understand too that you are working on yourself to become a high value man and a high value individual. And hopefully that woman out there is doing the same thing. And you guys are going to cross paths someday. And when that happens, man, boy, get ready, because it's the best feeling in the world when you can go to bed at night and know, hey, the girl by my side right here, the wife that I'm going to eventually marry, the girl that I'm going to eventually marry, she's a rock. And I freaking love her, because she doesn't quit on me and she supports me in everything that I do. And I don't have to stress about a darn thing, because I guarantee you the people who are in a happy marriage and a long-term marriage, I guarantee you have very similar morals, have very similar beliefs, are obviously a little bit different in certain categories, but they're always supporting each other and that they're winning each other's sales. So that was a long one. I apologize, but again, as every episode, guys, just again, think about what I said. Go somewhere quiet. Hopefully, we can just maybe just listen to my voice, and just kind of understand that these lessons are hard to learn, and these are 10 things I wish I knew earlier. And admittedly, I'm still working on these 10 things. I mean, I'm not perfect, you know. Number 9, I got to work on slowing down big time. You know, I don't slow down. I go, 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 go. But continue to, work on yourselves, and hopefully these 10 things at least you guys can kind of remember and kind of just learn from, and kind of just be able to say, I'm going to work on this lesson today that Rob said, or this lesson today that Rob said, or this lesson today that Rob said. But again, guys, think about it, listen to it, please comment down below what you guys think about the video today. And I would love to hear your guys' more opinions and more thoughts, and I appreciate you guys as always. But as always, guys, keep God first. Fitness is the way forward, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, thank you, guys. Have a great day, guys. See ya.